Hey guys, my setup is a little bit different today. It's storming here and it doesn't look like it's gonna let up anytime soon. I hope you guys are okay with this setup. For those of you who are new here, I usually film in natural light, but today that's not gonna be possible. I didn't think it would be such a big deal because I did only pick up a few products from the brand Typology. This has been on my radar for quite some time. I follow the YouTuber Matilda on video. I've been following her for years and she was the one who tipped that scale for me. All of the things that I was interested in purchasing from the brand, she was able to swatch and really give an overview review of the products. So I decided to give it a whirl as somebody with combination to oily skin that lives in a state where it's very hot and humid. I will do a short wear test for you guys. First of all, let me show you what I picked up. The trio came with this free bag. It was a gift with purchase if you spent, I think it was over $100, I don't know. I picked up their trio, but because they were collaborating with Matilda on video, you got an additional gift. You got an additional lip oil in the color Plum Purple, which is this one, which you guys know is right up my alley. It is a cool toned purple mauve kind of shade. So because that was going to be included with the gift with purchase, the trio I picked up does come with a lip oil, and I decided to pick up Black Cherry. And so in the trio here, you got their serum foundation, which is, or their tint, you know, so it's called a tinted serum, so it's not really a foundation. If you use me as a shade reference, I chose the color Type 2 Light. For like their serum concealer, I chose the corresponding shade to the tinted serum, which was Type 2 Light. And then this is the lip oil in Black Cherry. Does that not look gorgeous? Grab a snack, grab a drink. I don't know how long we're gonna be here. I'm gonna be using my Angie Hot and Flashy A101 brush. This is the one from the travel set, and this tint says it has light coverage with a natural finish and shake before use. Apply 3 to 4 drops and blend with a brush or fingers. You guys know how much I detest using my fingers to apply my makeup, just because it just creates a big mess, especially in the mornings when I'm getting ready for work. Brushes are just easier and they're quicker. So we're gonna go ahead and apply, just as this suggests, 3 to 4 drops. I'm gonna start with 3. If I feel like I need 4, I'll go ahead and add an extra drop. So right off the bat, 1, 2, 3. The formula is a little thicker than what I expected. I will talk about the packaging in about a minute or so. And let's apply this to the face. For those of you who are new here and are unfamiliar with my particular skin type, I have combination milia and acne prone skin. This has a scent that I can't identify. Doesn't linger. Has a skincare kind of scent. So this is with the 3 drops. As somebody with combination oily skin, you can just imagine that living in a climate that's very hot and humid will do wonders to my makeup. So I'm very picky and very particular with the complexion products I use during the day, because I work very long hours. My days usually range between 12 to 14 hours. My makeup needs to last. It can't be cracking, breaking up, sinking into fine lines. We can have any of that jazz, regardless of whether I'm sweating or not. That's, you know, I know I have high demands, but that's my lifestyle. And so I try to find makeup products that fit and work with the weather in the state in which I live. So this is the 3 drops. I will say that some people said that this foundation was dewy. I have to disagree. I don't feel like this is dewy at all. This is very much a very natural finish, and I compare this type of finish to the Merit foundation stick. Very similar finish. I'm gonna go in with a 4th drop just for science, just for this video, but let's talk about packaging really quick. I was concerned about this dropper situation. Of course, I'm gonna continue to update you as I use this, but you can see right there, it slides in and out. I am concerned that the product may kind of start to ooze out of there after prolonged use. Anybody who has tried this brand and has used it forever, can you please leave me a comment down below? Do you have any issues with the packaging of the tinted foundation? I would love to know. So I would say this is about as much coverage as you're gonna get with this foundation. I love that it evens out the skin tone and it looks very, very skin-like. I'm looking at myself right now. I have this Merit mirror that you can get in exchange for points if you're part of like the Merit loyalty program, and it has a magnified side, and I'm looking at this with the magnified side, and I could still see my acne scars peeking through. But this foundation has done a really good job at really evening out my skin, smoothing out any imperfections that I may have on the skin, any redness or dark areas. You know, I have acne scars and stuff like that, but it looks very skin-like. I don't think that anybody would be able to say that I have foundation on. So let's go ahead and try the concealer. I have to say this dries down very quickly, which is already major points for me because I don't have a lot of time in the morning to allow foundation to set. So I work fairly quickly in the morning. This is what the concealer looks like. Now this packaging makes me a little bit nervous because I find packaging in this kind of tube like this to be a little bit hard to control. It says apply a few drops under the eyes and distribute the product using either fingers or brush. We're gonna be using the Angie Hot and Flashy A506 brush, and we are going to apply literally one, okay. See, yes, squeezy tubes like these, I don't do well with. I guess I don't know my own strength, and so I tend to always squeeze out too much. However, this is not a metal tube, which means that, you know, we all hate the metal tubes. When you squeeze them, the product just keeps oozing out. It looks like it's metal, but it's not. It's just a regular, you know, squeezy tube. Once you let go of the pressure, the product sinks back in. These products are made in France. This has a 6-month shelf life, and the foundation is 1.5 fluid ounces. Okay, I was able to peel back the little sticker on here, and it has a 6-month shelf life. Okay, literally every single product I purchased has a 6-month shelf life, so not my favorite because that's a really short amount of time. It is a clean beauty brand, so you know, we don't get a lot of shelf life with that. Not really sure if I picked the right color concealer, but we're gonna roll with it, okay? We're just gonna pat this under the eyes. I like to put it on my eyelids as well because I have very bright green veins on my eyelids. And this concealer feels great. It gives you enough time to work it into the skin without drying up. I'm not typically a concealer type of gal, but I actually like this. I think it did a good job at, I have this very bright green vein that runs under my eye. Got that one. It was probably always there, but it really came out to shine after I gave birth to my daughter, you know? Probably from the lack of sleep and, you know, motherhood. But sometimes she shines brighter than other days. And today's no exception. But I feel like this concealer has the same finish as the foundation. It is a lot more pigmented than the foundation, but the finish and the actual formula is very thin, which is not what I was expecting because when you squeeze it out of the tube, it looks fairly thick. But I think that looks great. Let's go ahead and apply some blush. I brought my Westman Atelier blush in Pop It because I love using this color for summer. It's this bright pink. Now, if you use me as a skin twin, if I'm your skin twin, then this is all you need for this blush. I use the Westman Atelier blushes as lipstick as well. So I'm using my BK Beauty 109 brush. And we're just going to blend this into the cheeks. And now we get to see if these products play well with other makeup products. Because you guys know that I give major points for versatility. I think that it's safe to say that very few of us use only one makeup brand for all products. I think that most of us use a combination of different products. Maybe your blush is from one brand, your foundation is for another one, your setting powder is from a different brand, etc. I'm gonna bring that over the bridge of my nose because I like that sun-kissed kind of look. Now, a little trick if you own Pop It, if you apply too much of the blush onto your cheeks, continue to blend and you can like swipe it over your eyes and it creates this very subtle monochromatic eyeshadow cheek kind of jewel. So this is enough a blush for me. I know you guys like a stronger blush, so I'm gonna build this up mostly because I really want to see how this foundation is gonna hold up. I want to see what we're working with here. So far, I do have to say I like it. Immediately, the finish is perfection for me. And I think the shade is very forgiving because it's a tint. So I find that it really does match my skin adequately. And you know, since we're getting chatty here, if you're wondering where I've been for the past month and I haven't really uploaded too many videos like this, it's, you know, I've been enjoying time with my family this summer, and I really did have to take advantage of the fact that we didn't have new release after new release after new release, because I felt like it was like that for a little bit, and I don't like to leave you guys hanging. If there's like a new release of stuff I know you guys really want, I try to upload that as quickly as possible. My house has also been under construction, and anybody who's ever had anything done in their house, you know how stressful that is. So that is the blush situation. I feel like that's good. I feel like we're gonna need to stop there. I'm gonna keep it really simple. I'm gonna go in with the REM Beauty liquid eyeshadow in Lab Coat. This and Fembot is my favorite color from the line, and I'm using my Angie Hot and Flashy A505 brush to apply it. It's very stressful getting any kind of work done in your house because, at least where I live, it's really hard to find people working in construction that do their job right. And for us, we are not Chip and Joanna Gaines. We have no idea about construction anything. So we are at the mercy of people who say they know how to do things, but then when they start working and you hire them, things are not done right, or you pay for them, things work correctly for a couple of months, and then boom, you realize that no, they did not, or they forgot to do something. So then you call them and pray and hope that they're gonna come back and fix their mistake. That is extremely stressful. And then on top of that, you have a toddler. So, you know, there's that too. Okay. So that is the only eyeshadow we're doing because we're keeping this light and cutesy. We want that clean girl kind of aesthetic. Next, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the Victoria Beckham mascara. This is the black one. I really wanted to get the burgundy one, but I can't find it at any of my local retailers that sell Victoria Beckham, because I also want to buy this black mascara for my mother-in-law who has really short, tiny eyes. And this wand is actually so thin that it allows her to be able to actually wear mascara without getting it all over her lids. So any of you who have very little eyes or very short lashes, I highly recommend this mascara from Victoria Beckham. I know it's pricey. This is a glass bottle, so it's definitely a luxury beauty brand, but I do have to say it lasts forever and it does not flake. So I've gotten along with this really well. Okay, now let's try on these lip oils. I'm gonna start with the lightest shade, which is Plum Purple. Again, this packaging is the same as the foundation. The tinted serum, I need to stop calling it a foundation. It is much smaller, so for size reference, there you go. I'll put them like side by side. I think you can see them better this way. For the lip oil, you get 0.50 fluid ounces. And everything is in a frosted glass vessel. This does not have any scent at all or taste. It's very easy to apply. Although it's a lip oil, it's not slippy, which you guys know I don't like slippy oil products. The tone of this is lovely. This is right up my alley, this color. It does not sink into fine lines. If you have any imperfections or dry lips like I do, it does not accumulate in those areas. The pigmentation of the lip oil, I'm gonna get closer so you guys can see, is very much even. Which to me is exactly what I want in a lip oil. Now, this is a good enough layer for me. For the purposes of this video, I am gonna build it up again one more time just to see how this builds and to see what our opacity level is gonna be like. It builds nicely. And it does have this doe foot applicator. The bottle mechanism does a great job at scooping off the excess product, so it doesn't build on the sides of the bottle. And this is plum purple. Now let's go ahead and try black cherry, and don't worry, I'm gonna swatch all these products on the back of my hand so you guys can see all these products up close. Okay, let's go in with black cherry. You guys know that I love me a good black cherry color. Okay. So this is one layer. This shade is much deeper than the plum purple, and I don't see it settling into my fine lines again, which is a must, okay? Because I have wrinkles on my lips, I have dry lips, and so I can't. It's one of the reasons why I shy away from lip oils sometimes, is because especially the deeper colors, I love them, but they usually never work on my lips. Let's go ahead and go in with a second coat and see how this builds up. This is 2 coats. What do we think? I really love this. I do, and I'll show you these colors side by side. Doesn't this look super scary in the bottle? But this is how it looks on the lips. I have to say, I'm really impressed with these products. I mean, the finish of this foundation, you guys, nothing is sticky, nothing is weird. I didn't have to set it. This is definitely right up my alley. I'm gonna check in back I'm gonna check back in with you guys in several hours and show you how this has worn on my skin, but let's get into some swatches. Okay, here we have everything swatched. We have the tinted serum right here. And here we have the concealer, the 2 lip oils, the plum one and the black cherry. This is what I have on my eyes. This is like an iridescent pink, blue, kind of flippy duochrome single shadow from REM called Lab Coat. Oh yes, I didn't swatch the blush. I thought this one was self-explanatory, but I know I'm gonna get somebody in the comments be like, you didn't swatch the blush. And then there is the blush. I would say with the lip oils, 1 layer is more than enough. I don't feel like I needed that second layer. I would have to say that the black cherry, I find it to be less pigmented than the purple plum. And I do find that this one does slightly gather into the imperfections of my lips. You can see that. So not quite a big fan of this particular color for that reason. I love the color, I just don't like that look. I don't get that with the plum shade. And the reason I say that is because I actually used the plum shade when I first got this product in the mail, and I wore it for some time and it didn't do that. So I'm not sure if it's because this has a milkier base than this. I find this to have more of a clear base to it. I find it to be a little bit less pigmented than the plum one. And you can see that by the swatches. So this has more like a clear base and the plum one has more like a milky kind of base. Maybe that's the reason. But if I had to choose between these two, I would definitely go with the plum. So far, complexion products, I have to say I absolutely adore. I love this finish. I love the way it feels on my skin. It literally feels like I'm not wearing anything. That's how thin it is. But it provides just the right amount of coverage. I don't feel like you're ever gonna get a full coverage kind of situation with this tinted serum. That's not what it's designed for. I think that this is perfect for me. I really don't need more than this. The concealer, as somebody who doesn't wear concealer, the concealer is actually really good. And it's thinner than any concealer I own, which I'll say that. It's even thinner than the Westman Atelier concealer. And I actually, just first impressions, I prefer this serum concealer over the Westman Atelier. I have a lot of micro wrinkles under my eyes, and every time I wear concealer, you can really see them. I have one large wrinkle when I am looking directly at you guys, and every time I wear concealer, it always sinks in there immediately. And I've been wearing this for maybe 10-15 minutes. I don't see anything. I will check back in with you guys in a couple of hours and let you know how this wore and give you the final verdict. But so far, I'm very impressed. We are at the 4-hour mark and I'm in my bathroom. Look at how well this foundation tinted serum has worn. The concealer has not creased. It has not settled into this fine line I have right here. Usually concealer loves to settle there. The finish of this, remember, I didn't set this. I didn't have to. It's absolutely stunning. It doesn't feel like I have anything on. It's so lovely. And I'm currently wearing the Deep Plum lip oil. The black cherry shade, not my favorite. It really did settle into my wrinkles on my lips and the imperfections, like the pigmentation would settle in those areas. It doesn't happen with this shade. Again, I think it's because it's much more opaque and it has more of a milky base versus a clear base. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm very impressed with these products. I'm gonna continue to use them in the dead of the heat here, summer in Florida. I read a meme the other day that it was like, can you describe, you know, summer in Florida? And the person responded, have you ever been cremated? Yeah, that's basically how it feels here in the summer. So much so that most people like stay in because it's so hot and muggy outside. But for those of you who are wondering, I really like the Typology tinted serum. That's thunder, by the way. Yes, it's still storming 4 hours later. Again, leave me your questions and comments down below. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's the only other social media platform I'm currently active on. I appreciate you guys. Those of you who have been using this brand for years, let me know. I want to know what other products you guys recommend I try, but shout out to Matilda on YouTube. I absolutely love these products. All right, you guys, have a lovely weekend and see you next time. Bye.